Why aren't you hitting your drivers as far as you should? Well, today we find out with PGA coach Donald Q.
So let's see your contact, let's see your swing, and then go from there. Okay? Ooh. Ooh. So this is a very important shot that we want to see. So when we're seeing this, the club path was 3 degrees to the 3.1 degree positive. That means it's going inside out.
Oh, it's inside out?
Yeah.
Oh.
So positive means to the right on TrackMan, and then negative means to the left.
Okay.
And then face to pass is negative 9.2. So relative to your club path, your face was 9 degrees closed.
So to the left as well.
Yes. And then you were hitting off the toe a little bit.
Right.
So let's see you hit a few more. Try to see if you can hit a center contact, because that was just off the toe. So sometimes it can happen where you have a good club path and then good face to path, but you hit it off the heel, it'll be a slice, and then hit it off the toe, it'll be a hook, right? So what I found in your setup was that you're actually set up a little bit more close to the target, meaning that you were actually aiming more right.
Yeah. I realized that as well when I film, and I'll tell you why I think I do that. Number one is when I stand in a neutral stance, my shoulder is always a little open. So I compensate by just closing it because that feels more comfortable. Second of all, because I have a lack of mobility on my backswing, I feel like it's easier to just have this more open so I get more backswing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah, in order to increase mobility, we can actually move our right feet out a little bit to help us increase the turn on the back. I can see that you're a little bit more limited. You're kind of just, you didn't open up the hips as much as we would like. So your backswing is a little bit shorter, and we can definitely generate more speed when we have a bigger backswing and then more turn. So what we can do is have a square stance while opening up the right feet a little bit. Let's try that.
Okay. So square stance.
Yep.
Right feet open a bit more.
Perfect.
Is that too much?
That's okay. That's okay. Okay. Slow on the face. Let's try again. So the problem is that the first few shots, most of you missed on the range today are to the left.
Yeah.
Right. So whether it was like a pole or a spin, I'm not seeing the right miss right now.
Would it help you right now if I hit a right miss to know that I can hit a right miss? Because sometimes I try hitting a right miss and it just goes straight.
Okay. Let's see you hit one. Oh, that's perfect. Okay.
So I don't know if I can do this consistently, but am I swinging better here? Am I doing my fixes here?
So one thing I noticed, that was certainly a better contact. You hit it in the middle of face. You were the ones before you was either low on the face or on the toe. So this one on the left is the one you just hit. Which you try to slice it, and then the one on the right was the first couple ones you hit. When you take the club, when you try to hit a slice, your takeaway was more square. I would like to see your club somewhere near your hands or just outside. But before, when you try to hit your stock shot, you try to drag it in like this. So every time we drag the club in, let me demonstrate here for you. So first few shots you hit, you were kind of just like dragging inside here with the early turn. So what happens from there is since your lower body turned already, it doesn't have any more room to turn, so your hands kind of have to go up, and your pressure was kind of in the front foot on your right. That limits your turn. So the swing you did where you try to hit a slice, for some reason your club was actually in line with the hand-on takeaway. That made you get a better turn, full turn here, full hip turn, full shoulder turn. The club had more depth, meaning that it's higher on the club, more behind you. That helps you get back to a better position and better contact. So right now I want you to focus on this takeaway where the lower body is more quiet, open up, and then get back to it. Ooh, that's a nice driver.
And you're hitting it without a glove?
Yes.
So right now, does this work for everyone? So my fix was by just making the opposite mistake, or I try to make the opposite mistake.
Right. So what were you thinking there when you try to hit a slice? Did you try to open the club face? Did you open your stance?
I open my face more.
Okay.
Second is On my takeaway and my backswing, I imagine that I'm going to be coming down from this angle. So I took away more from that angle as well.
Right.
But
which actually worked out.
Which was actually just normal.
Which was actually normal. I just want your hands to be more inside now on the takeaway, whereas versus just you pushing out.
Right.
So that gets you kind of disconnected. The takeaway is very important with all the full swing, because since our body is moving this way, we don't want our hands to go the opposite direction, because that's gonna where the disconnection happens.
But for this, is like if you can find the solution by doing something, keep that feeling, right?
For sure. If you're hitting if your slice is going straight, that means that should be your
That's
stock
your new
swing.
straight.
Yeah. And then if you're wanting to actually hit a slice, then you actually have to aim more open and then take it more outside and just swing along your feet.
So what should I do at this point? Should I just be trying to recreate what I just did, or should I break down what happened there?
I want you to recreate that.
Okay,
see
so
if you can
just
recreate.
the feeling,
yes,
and let's see if that does anything.
Yes. Perfect. Oh, look at that.
I'm really trying to hit a slice here.
Yeah, look at that. Well, we have a little bit of wind from right to left today.
Right.
That was maybe a little bit of fade, but that wind kind of canceled out. Because you had negative club path to the left while the face being open, right? So that should have been a little bit fade. That wind just came. That was a good shot. So when students, they're hitting with a pole or they're struggling with a hook, first thing I would tell them is like, okay, let's see if we can hit a fade to cancel out that club path, neutralize it, club path and the club face.
Right.
Let's say they're hitting this high block slice, I'll be like, okay, let's see you hit a low draw. So in their mind, subconsciously, they have to either change their stance or club face. So once we know how we hit left and once we know how to hit right, we should be able to easier for us to hit it straight, right?
So at this point, what else should we still improve?
So I still want you to make so that takeaway is better than before, where we have our hand and then club working together. Now we just have to make sure we get a full big turn. In the first half of swing, we want to make sure our lower body is more stable and then open up together. Get the club higher on the backswing, on top of the backswing.
So what is that like feel-wise?
So right now, you have the club more inside. So from the start stance to here, you really want to feel like your left knee is more stable. And from here, your right shoulder and the right hip open together here. Okay, that's going to get your club in a higher position with more arc.
Right.
And coming down will have more speed.
So how I'm going to imagine it is, I try to maximize my upper body first.
Yes.
So to here, which is around my upper body, and then when I really have to, I'm gonna stay this center as much as I can and just
then rotate.
Turn my hip.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So from your starting position to club parallel, I want you to lower body to stay as quiet as possible, and then from here to open up.
Right.
So the lower body is doing most of a turn in the second half of backswing.
Right.
But before you were doing most of the work in the first half. That's why you had it in the club face inside. Club headed inside, and then that you just lift it up without any turn.
Let's give it a try. So when it goes left, like if they don't have a TrackMan, how do they know when it's off the toe or heel? Or if they don't have a video, they just have to, and they can't feel it either.
That's a good point. So there is some stickers you can put on the club face here. For the strike point, if they actually they don't have the feeling, and then afterwards it will show up the mark where the club, where they hit on club. That's an easier way to look at it. And afterwards they develop some feelings. Eventually they will know whether they're hitting off the heel or the toe.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's try one more. Skyball, but the swing is okay.
Yeah.
Club pass, swing direction.
Yeah.
I'm swinging too much down on the ball though, is why it's skying, right?
That's right. You just kind of hit off the face. You're a little bit steep coming down.
Let's go a little bit less steep.
The club head was really fast. The speed.
Face the path. Negative 9.3.
9 degrees. Yeah. So
Wow.
so it's just a close face, a little bit of toe strike.
Last one.
Last one. Let's do it.
Yeah, that one I really try to exaggerate.
Try to hit a cut, hey. So it seems like when you're trying to hit a cut, your club path and face to pass was actually gets neutralized.
Yeah. And then, but why did it still go so right?
There was a very heely strike.
I see.
Yeah,
so
very heely.
Contact point is also a huge issue for me.
That's right. It's mostly about finding the center of the face for you more than anything.
Right.
Because your club path and face to path is actually fairly consistent.
Especially once I think of my slice shot.
That's right. That's right. It's just when you hit it off the toe, it creates this huge draw hook spin, and then when you heel it the other way.
Yeah, what's the fastest way to get consistent contact?
Right, that's a very good question. So for me, I would actually put, like you said, put a sticker on a club head.
Or let's just assume they have video because it's gonna be pretty tough with the sticker.
Right. So once we have the video, we'll see that most of it you're off the heel strike, right? So if you hit like let's say 10 shots and mostly it's off the heel, then we want to be hitting off the toe.
But how do you do that?
So we'll see your swing. For your swing, you were coming down really steep and your hips were thrusting forward.
Right.
So really feel like we have to keep our hips more quiet and turning more around our body. And then you could even adjust. Sometimes it could be just the ball position, how far you're standing. Maybe you're standing too close to it, that creates the heel, right? So everyone has a different type of problem. If we're hitting like 9 out of 10 shots, we're hitting on the heel. Let's just aim for the toe and try to hit it on the toe, and that will neutralize everything. So we don't have to think about anything regarding the swing, how far we want to take it back, where we're opening the hips.
But I have a dual problem. I have a toe and heel problem.
Yes. Yeah, but then for right now, for you, you're actually hitting more on the toe versus heel. The interesting part is when you try to hit a slice, you're actually hitting more on the center face or on the heel. That's why your ball was going straighter.
Right.
Yeah, because you're taking out more on the outside before you're like on the inside, and then just coming and flipping.
Let's do a recap.
Okay.
So to recap, I mean, the biggest fix we did today was more of I think how to approach fixing something. Right. Which today was my approach is just doing the opposite of whatever is wrong.
Right. So a lot of times when we practice ourselves, we really need to learn how to analyze our swing just based off contact point. And that would transfer onto the course. Like let's say the first hole we duck hook one on the to the left. That sometimes may not be like a super close face. Maybe we just hit it super on the toe. So we just need to focus on strike point instead of having too many thoughts on the course where our backswing is, where our rhythm is, where our hands are. So that will just help us.
But the thing about doing a fix like this is you need to first know how every shot is hit.
Right.
Like I've sliced before, and I think if I hit a few more, I could slice on purpose. So that way I know how to do the opposite. Right. But not everyone knows how to do the opposite.
Right. So at first it's building better contact and hitting it straighter. Once we're hitting it straighter off, once we can make better contact, we can start working the ball. I guess you're a developed player now, Alex.
Well, from the beginning, I've always just really liked shaping balls. Like I like the fact that I can hit balls at will. So I've developed really early on like how to hit certain shapes of balls, even though I can't do it consistently, but I have the understanding. So it's easy for me to do opposite fixes.
Right, I think that will work out for you because right now you're hitting pole at the start today. Since you know how to hit a fade or a slice, it actually helps you neutralize your club path and the face and the contact.
Okay, well, thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and also check out Donald and this video down below.
Thanks for watching, guys.